Patrick here. Today we are going to talk about pin curls. Pin curls give you an option to do a variety of styles. So it's basically like setting hair. So we're going to do wet set styling. We're going to talk about base placement. We're going to talk about on base, off base, and half base, and what that means when you style your pin curls. We're going to talk about our before and afters, what hair should look like, how to prep hair for pin curls, and also how to style hair afterwards. So let's get started. Alright guys, so pin curls is a form of wet hairstyling. So obviously we're going to need the hair to be damp or wet. You don't want the hair to be soaking wet, you just want it to be wet enough to where the hair is fully saturated throughout the style. If the hair starts to dry out, we want to re-wet the hair using our water bottle. So things that you're going to need is going to be your spray bottle. We're also going to use gel, and that's a soft hold gel, and we're also going to use our prong clips. This is a double prong clip. You can also use a single prong clips. Single prong clips are probably a little bit better to pin the hair because they're not as wide. However, if you don't have a single prong clip, the double prong clip will work just as perfect. You're also going to need an all-purpose comb or a rat tail comb to perform this service. The first thing that I would do is detangle the hair. You're going to start at your ends and work your way all the way up to detangle the hair. This is freshly shampooed and conditioned hair. You can prep the hair with any shampoo or conditioner of your choice. Because we are doing a pin curl set, our end result, we expect it to be soft, full, and have a lot of volume and minimal control. So we want to make sure that we are reducing the amount of frizz that's in this end result and keeping the hairstyle with a lot of volume. So it's going to be very voluminous yet controlled. So the first thing I'm going to do is start with my style part and determine exactly which way I want the hair to be styled. And I'm going to choose to have a side part for her hair. I'm going to part just above the eyebrow where the arch of the eyebrow is, and I'm going to section the hair into sections. Now, it doesn't really matter how many sections that you give the hair at this point. We just want to make sure that it's even and consistent. So I'm going to section her hair right behind the ear, right at the mastoid, and that's going to be my first section. I'm going to gather the hair into a Zulu knot. And clip. My next section is going to be at the mastoid again, right at the apex to the mastoid. I'm going to separate the hair, gather that into a Zulu knot as well. Alright guys, here I am giving it a center part. I'm going to give it a center part from the apex all the way down to the nape of the neck, and I'm going to section this into 4 equal sections. These sections are only apparent because it makes the hairstyle a lot cleaner and easier to install the pin curls for wet styling. The pin curls are, when we set the hair, it's going to lay right on top of each other. So because of that, I like to start off with small, clean sections. That way I can put the pin curls inside of the hair, so that way they can set and not be jumbled or messy. Now we have our final section, and we're going to get started on setting the hair for pin curl styling. Before we get started, there's a few things I want to explain. With pin curl setting, it's going to be a little bit messy. You're going to be very generous with the product. I am using gel that you can get from the dispensary inside of the school. You can also use products such as Fast Form. It's like a cream gel that's really nice for the hair, and Hydro Whip. That's a really nice soft setting foam that you can use for the hair. So there's different things you can do, but most importantly, you want to keep the hair saturated even while we layer the products on top of each other for the styling. So you're going to notice that I'm going to dip my comb in the gel and make sure that the hair has product throughout the sections. I am using horizontal subsections, and they're about an inch and a quarter apart, and then I'm going to split those sections about the same width, giving me equal boxes. Okay, now we're going to apply the product. I'm going to be very generous with the product starting at the base, and I'm going to work the product all the way down to the ends. And at the same time, I am detangling the hair, making sure that there's no bends or wrinkles in the hair, stretching the hair all the way down to the end tip. And then at that tip, I am going to start forming my curl. I'm going to apply the product from base all the way to the ends. She looks like she's sweating. All the way to the tip, so that hair is fully saturated. And I'm going to start at the tip, and I'm going to start forming my curl. And I'm going to roll the hair. This is an on base placement starting at 135 degrees in front of the base, and I'm rolling the hair all the way back to the base, and then I'm going to pin it. Once I got a nice complete circle, I'm going to hold the hair in place right there at the center, and I'm going to pin it going from the inside out and secure my placement. Here we are, we're going to do it again. Starting at the base, we're going to work our product from base to tip. Now remember, like I said before, these curls are going to sit almost on top of each other. So they're going to be kind of stacked on top of one another, which is completely fine. What's really important is making sure that you get the tip end of the hair curled around, so that's just not sticking up where you won't have straight ends. So we want to make sure that the tip is in the center of the curl, and we're going to work our way forming a pin curl all the way to the base. And in a few moments, I'm going to show you how to do a pin curl a second way. We're going to secure it right there in the center, and done. Alright guys, I'm going to play a little camera trick on you. I had to reset and restart this pin curl set for you. So if you notice, I'm at a different angle and I'm starting on the opposite side of the head. I am still doing the same motion from base to tip when I apply the product. However, I'm going to roll my pin curls differently. I'm going to wait till I get to the tip of the hair. Right there at the tip, I'm going to roll that tip around my non-dominant hand, and I'm going to start rolling it towards the base. This is a much faster way for me to do the pin curls. It gives you the same result because the end tip is right dead center and it helps me form a curl a lot faster. And then I pin right there in place. I'm gonna do it again for you. I'm gonna comb my product in from base all the way to the tip. And once I get to the tip of the hair, I'm going to roll that tip forward, connecting it to the other hair, and then continue to roll it, forming a pinwheel, hence the term pin curl, and I'm going to secure it right there for you. Just checking on you guys, making sure you're hanging in there. These pin curls are going at a quite steady pace. As you notice, it doesn't take me very long to finish a panel doing these pin curls, and I am keeping clean sections while I go throughout the head shape performing these pin curls. I'm just combing this right through, and I'm going to divide the hair, and I am going to section it, comb my product from base to tips. And I'm going to start spiraling my pin curl by using the ends of the hair and start to turn them towards the mid shaft, and then alternating my fingers to get the pin curl placement exactly where I want it. You said that we were friends. You swore that you would never break my heart. Let's talk a little bit about pin curl styling. Pin curl styling can offer a variety of styles. It almost can take the place of a roller set. with wear hairstyling, especially if you don't have rollers on you, or you just want to do a quick few little curls on the top, and you can place them either under a dryer. You can choose to diffuse these pin curls, and then once they dry, you can release them and style them, and I'll show you how that's done. But more importantly is that the pin curls are uniform. If you pin curl set your hair in all one direction, you will have a uniform pin curl set. If you alternate the directions of the curls, you will have a more natural style. Then you can choose to, once the hair is dry, peel the curls away, or finger style the hair, or you can even use some hot tools to support your style. As you notice, I am working from the bottom of the hair all the way to the top because I am building a hairstyle. You always want to build from a foundation, meaning from the ground up. So we're going to start at the bottom and we're going to work our way all the way up to the top before moving on to the opposite side of the head. So since we're building our hairstyle, we want to make sure that the bottom is secure. As we work our way up, we have nice clean sections, nice clean partings, and once we get to the top of the hairstyle, we'll be more complete and we can end the hairstyle at the top as opposed to the bottom. Alright guys, we're on the opposite side of the head. Look how fast we're moving. We are moving at a rapid speed. Pin curl sets did not have to take a long time to set. Once you get in the groove and the motions of using your fingers and alternating your fingers to turn to get the hair in place the way you want, securing your pins, making sure that all your pins are going in the same direction, this is going to give you a more uniform look. It gives it a nice complete look, and as the guests go into the hairstyle, you'll know exactly where to pull those pins from whenever they come from under the dryer. So we're going to just keep moving on this side of her head, and we're going to work our way all the way up. All right, guys, if you are setting your hair with me, I hope you guys are moving at the same pace that I am moving. And good job, guys. For those of you that decided to set the pin curls with me, I would love to see your end result, to see what your hairstyle is going to look like. I'm going to share with you my end result. I am still applying product to the hair from the base all the way to the ends, keeping my sections neat and clean. I am going to set the hair, excuse me, using our same method that we've been doing. If you notice, the first method that I showed you slows you down just a little bit because you have to form those curls between your index finger and your thumb, and it just makes things go a little bit slower. But by alternating your fingers and winding the curl makes it go a lot faster. So if you had a chance, try to do both to see which one you like the best. Alright guys, as we get to the top of the head, we are moving at a rapid speed. We are still setting these pin curls. It's very redundant, so it's something that you can pick up the pace on if you feel like you're moving a little bit too slow, if you catch yourself falling behind on time. Time is definitely money in the salon. I just want to remind you guys that pin curls are not just an old school style. This is something that you can do even at the end of a style for a finished look. A lot of people do pin curls in the fringe for an updo. Just to give it a little bit more pizzazz or a little bit of detailing. It's definitely used in wet hairstyling to give the the guests some curls, especially if you can't use a lot of direct heat on the guests. You can definitely use like a sculpture foam, the sculpting foam by Paul Mitchell, and give them a nice soft set with pin curls and put them under the hooded dryer or let them air dry. It's gonna form nice soft curls that they can brush through and brush out and still give them a nice voluminous hairstyle. Okay guys, as we near the end of this pin curl set, on this last panel, I purposely set this panel off to the side and made it kind of elongated on this one side because I want to make sure that these pin curls kind of stack on top of each other to give tons and tons of volume. I want to give her a little bit of swoop action in her face. I want to be able to like give her an elaborate bang. So while I'm doing that, I'm keeping in mind how I'm stacking these pin curls on top of each other. I want to give her more curls on this side because this is where I want the volume to take place. So keep in mind, whenever you do your consultation, your end result should always be in mind of what you're going to do, especially when you're doing something like a wet set, to get to that end result and to build that foundation that the guest is looking for. All right, we're coming to the close of our pin curl set. I'm right at the top at her hairline, and I'm going to go ahead and set my final pin curls in place so that way we can put her under the dryer. I'm going to set her under the dryer for about 45 minutes to an hour, and then after she dries, I'm going to let her cool completely, and then we're going to start taking her hair down. Alright guys, she is dry and her hair is cool. I appreciate you guys for hanging there with me because wet styling sometimes you have to take a little bit of patience. However, if your guest is under the dryer and if you're one of those people that like to stack clients, you can definitely have a haircut in between that hour that she's drying because that gives you a little bit of time to do something else like cleaning up behind yourself, or you can always stack up a client and do another client in between while that process is taking place. What I'm doing now is I'm removing her pin clips. I'm going to remove them very gently. If you notice, I place my hand in the center of the pin curl, so do not disturb the curl while I remove the clips. I'm going to remove the clips throughout the entire head. Hopefully I don't forget any, but you notice I'm touching the curl so I don't disturb it, and then I remove the clip. Alright guys, we just removed our final pin, and now we're going to make sure that the curls are intact and in place, and by doing so, we are going to take the curls, excuse me, and start at the base and wind them around our fingers just to encourage the curl. We don't want to disrupt the curls that we took so much time to make, and just start snatching out the curls or raking our fingers through it. So I'm going to loosen up the curls by just going through each individual curl and winding them around my fingers, making sure that I'm supporting the curl that we put in. Okay, right now I'm going to use a little bit of Marula Rare Oil Primer on my fingertips. I'm just shining up my hands just so I can loosen up the curls a little bit more. Right now I need a little bit of slickness to help, or slip to help reduce frizz. So the oil is going to help me reduce the frizz because we are dealing with curls and I don't want to disrupt them by causing more frizz. I'm just going to need a little bit more product on the top, so I'm just spraying a little bit more rat oil. It dries fast, so it doesn't like stay on the hair and be real too slippery, because that's not what we want. We just want to use it to help us work through the hair and work through these curls. So let's see how we're going to style it. So now we're going to go for some Marilyn Monroe vibes. We're going to brush out this hair by using the widest tooth comb that we have. Your detangling comb will be perfect for this exercise. And I'm going to just go through and kind of rake through the ends of her hair mostly. And as I get to the top, I want to release. I just really want to maximize the volume of these curls. I would need them to be very voluminous, very full, and making sure that the volume is definitely there and that we give her a nice silhouette around her head shape. Styling a wet set can be very complicated because sometimes the way you set the hair wants to only go in that place. So I'm going to have to use my smoothing iron, and I'm just going to smooth out a little bit of the front because I definitely want to give her more height, because we just put all this volume in there. I need some more height to support the volume that we put in. I want to make sure that my guest has that nice finish to her hair. So we're going to work with our smoothing out just a smidge to smooth out some of the hair to make sure that her hair and her pin curl set looks perfect. Now I'm taking very small sections as I go through the hair. With my smoothing iron, I'm going to take it, and as I put the smoothing iron at the base, I'm going to immediately turn it, almost as if I was using my smoothing iron as a roller. So it goes in at the base, and it's going to turn immediately and form a curl. And I'm going to do this for maybe about 4 or 5 subsections just to get some volume in this area. You notice I am over directing the hair up to make sure that I get the volume that I need, so that way this hair stands on its base, just like we did with the pin curls, because we want maximum volume and we want maximum curls. So we're going to get some volume right here at the top by using our pin curls that we set, and our smoothing iron, our hot tools, just to make sure that we get everything that we're looking for out of this style. Now, working with curls, again, sometimes that because the hair is set a certain way, you almost have to force the hair to do something else that you want. So this was giving me a little bit of trouble, but I figured out a way by using my finishing spray by Awapui and a little bit of heat from the back of the smoothing iron, how to create the wave and the look that I was looking for. You see, I'm looking for balance. I'm trying to balance off the right side of her head of this silhouette because her part is so over-directed to the left. On the top of her eyebrow, I wanted to make sure I gave her more height on the right, so it shows that asymmetry of the hair of the silhouette. So I'm going to work with this a little bit until I get exactly what I'm looking for. Yeah, this Naomi doll was definitely a work in progress. I was able to pin curl set her hair from start to finish after freshly shampooed and conditioned hair. And I worked my way all the way up with a complete pin curl set. We let her dry completely. And now we get to finish her off. You see the smoke from my smoothing iron? It's burning up that finishing spray. I want to make sure that I give her the nice height that I'm looking for, so that way we can give her a nice, beautiful finish. Guys, well, we're wrapping this thing up, and she is done. She looks gorgeous. She has height, she has volume, she has everything that we're looking for inside of the curl. Her hair is still workable, it's movable. You can see I can brush right through it. It's still flexible hold. If I wanted to brush through this hair and stretch out and elongate the curls, I can do that. If I wanted to pull the hair back and brush it out into a ponytail, I can do that as well. She would still have a lot of volume, a lot of curl in her hair. She looks great, guys, and I hope you're able to recreate this pin curl set. And I would love to see your end results. Thank you for hanging out with me today. You guys have a great day.